This week we are talking all things batching and scheduling. Hi everyone, I'm Sam, and this week, as I mentioned, we're going to talk all things batching and scheduling. It's something that I've discussed on this channel before and that I've spoken about in emails and in groups before because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand what the two concepts are, how they're different, and how they can help. Now, you will notice that I released a video a couple of weeks back about why scheduling might not work for you. And that's the thing that I'm going to share today. So with batching and scheduling, I'll tell you what they are and how you can use them, but I also want you to understand that there is never a one solution fits all. There is never just one box you have to fit in. So with any of these videos, and this one especially, feel free to try the things I talk about, but feel free to take some of the information that's shared and just do the little bits that suit you, or feel free to amalgamate and squish bits together and come up with a solution that suits you. Just because something works for me, it doesn't mean it will work for you. And just because something works for your friend, it doesn't mean it will work for you. Having said which, if you don't try it, you'll never know. So the two things, batching and scheduling. Batching is the process of putting like tasks together. So that's like saying that today, if you're going to be writing content, then you dedicate as much time as possible to writing content. Or if you've got blog posts to do, rather than doing one here and one there, you set aside a block of time where you sit down and you write blog posts. Now, the wonderful thing about batching is once you get into the mind frame or the mindset of doing something and you really start powering out, you are much more productive for a longer period of time and you really get into that rhythm of doing things. So if you set aside a period of time and go, right, all of my writing is going to happen here, you put your favorite music on, you get a cup of coffee and just sit down and power out, you're going to get more done than if you do a little bit of writing here and come back a little bit there. Right? Anytime where you dedicate a block of mental space to doing something, it allows you to actually focus. And without breaking that focus, without breaking that pattern, you're going to get further than if you do little bits here and there. So batching is simply the process of putting like tasks together. Now, you can do that on a small scale. For example, you could say, this week I'm going to write my website copy, and I'm going to do my about page and my other page, my home page, and you can put them both together. You can batch blog posts, so you could do 2 a week or write 2 this week rather than just writing 1. Or you can go large scale. So for example, you might dedicate an entire day to working on writing your book and just dedicate an entire day to writing, or the same with a blog post or with a course. I primarily or specifically like to use batching for video. So I feel like by the time I've gone to all the effort to plug the web camera in, or if you're going to fix your hair or do professional makeup or professional lighting, or if you do any of those things, by the time you've gone to all the effort to do that once, you may as well record a whole set of videos while you're there. No, I don't always do that. So this video is off the cuff. It's the only video I'm doing today, and there won't be any more. But if I've scheduled my content ahead and I know that over the next month what I'm going to be talking about, then I like to sit down and just record all of the videos in one batch. That way I know they're done. I don't have to go to the effort of doing any of that again for another month. If I'm doing really well, the best I've done is I've recorded 3 months worth of videos in one day. I do know there are some people out there, I believe, who do up to 12 months worth of content in one day. Now that's a big push, and I really, I've just never found the motivation to do it. But it is a lot easier once you've got all the setup done. You may as well do 2 videos instead of 1. You may as well do 4 instead of 1. So that's batching, simply putting like tasks together. You can use that for your finances, you can use that for your content creation, you can use that for writing, you can use that for whatever you want. But put like tasks together and you will get into the flow of things, and you will get more done if you simply keep working on those same sorts of tasks rather than flitting and flutting around between lots of different tasks. So part 2 of this is scheduling. Scheduling is simply setting aside a time where you work on something. So rather than just having a to-do list, and I'm mighty guilty of this, in my diary I just create a long list of things I want to do today, and then I just start ticking them off willy-nilly. Scheduling is saying, no, at 10 a.m., between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., I'm going to write that blog post. Or between 11 a.m. and 12 a.m., I'm going to focus on videos. Now, scheduling you can do just for the day ahead. So you say, right, tomorrow I'm going to do this task and it should take about this long, and then this one. Or you can schedule weeks ahead or even months ahead. It's simply, rather than just having a large to-do list, setting aside a specific block of time where that thing is supposed to happen. So saying to yourself, at 10 a.m., I will work on that thing. That is what's happening. You can combine both scheduling and batching, and this is where things get really smart. So you could say that every Monday morning is content creation morning. And every Monday morning, you're going to work on your blog posts and social media posts and whatever else between 9 a.m. and 12 a.m. or 12 noon. And once it's done, it's done. And you don't have to do any more content creation for a whole week. That means you know that anytime you have a little legally job that comes up, you're just going to push that to next Monday. It's already scheduled into a nice block. You're going to batch all your tasks together, and you're going to do them in one big go. Now, this is great in theory, but it doesn't always work that way. So I love scheduling stuff in advance, but I also find that then sometimes if an emergency comes up on Monday morning, or if you've got a meeting that you just have to go to, or if one of the kids is sick, then sometimes that can blow that all out of the water. So while scheduling is great, you do have to be a little bit flexible with your time. But at least knowing what days of the week you work on certain projects, or what days of the week you work on achieving certain tasks, it's a really handy way to make sure something gets done. For example, if you're in the middle of course creation, or you really want to create your own course, but it just sits at the bottom of a to-do list, it is never going to happen because it's really hard to get into the flow, to get into the swing of it, and to find time for it. There's always other jobs that can be done. But if you schedule time so that every Monday morning from 9 till 11 you work on course creation and you do not do anything else during that time, then at least if nothing else, next Monday morning when you're sitting at your computer between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m, you might take some steps forwards. Or you might feel guilty because you're on social media, but you'll know what you should be doing. Now, as I said at the beginning, batching and scheduling don't work for everyone, but I do find that I'm definitely much more productive if I batch tasks together. I achieve much more in a short period of time, and I try to at least roughly schedule per day. So I look ahead and go, right, okay, I've got a batch of videos to do. I'm going to do videos next Wednesday, and I block them all into a certain day, and I schedule a day aside for that. Now, I'd love to hear from you because this is something that a lot of people have tried and haven't found that works for them, or maybe haven't tried yet and are willing to give a go. So jump in the comments down below and tell me, do you batch content together? So do you stick it all in one block? And do you schedule it into certain times, or do you just stick it on a to-do list and hope it happens? What have you found works for you, and what definitely doesn't work for you? Because there's plenty of that too. That's it for this week, but honestly, try batching and scheduling. If you're part of our Facebook group, come over and talk about it there because it's a subject that I think is incredibly interesting, and I really like to see how people get the most out of it for them. So we'd love to see you there too. But as always, I will see you in the next video.